Well, hello there. Hi, how is everybody? Nice to see you again. Um, so I haven't been around for a while, couple of years, I guess. And I keep everything very separate from my other accounts. I don't know why. Some of you seem to think that I've left YouTube. That is not the case. I'm around. I have other channels that are active. But what's interesting is that I haven't really logged into like these types of channels that I was on years ago. There's not really much going on, really. But I was logged into my usual channels and Ziggy popped up in my recommended. And I was like, why is she coming up over here? What? I'm like, there's got to be a reason. So I clicked. And I watched, and she's doing this little celebration dance. I got to admit, it was a little cringe. It was a little cringe, but I'm like, all right, what is she celebrating exactly? Okay. And then I see, oh my God, she sued 6UpMedia for defamation and won. I was like, what? I was like on the edge of my seat, like, let's read the decision. What? How? What? And I actually, if you watched my old videos in the past, if you know my previous channel, you know that this is an archive channel. You know that I have made countless videos about Ziggy myself. But there's a point where you realize, like, look, the only people who are watching my videos are already the people who don't like Ziggy. I'm not converting anybody. I'm not convincing anybody that, of what I believe about Ziggy. So it starts to become pointless. You just have the same people coming to your channel, rah, 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 and that's it. And your channel doesn't grow. There's no growth in it. People are not, it becomes very stale very quickly. And, I had other people that I like to follow, like Nita. God, that's a whole other topic. I don't know if I'll get into that, but honestly, I don't even know about that. But I mean, 6UP started her campaign against Ziggy. I think some of us have different opinions on why and how that started and even when that started. I have an opinion that is it's pretty much based from 6UP directly herself. And we can get into that another time. But when I went to 6UP's channel, I'm listening to Ziggy and she's reading it. I'm like, wow, okay. I go to her channel and I'm like, oh, this has been nearly 5 years of non-stop, almost nightly hatred and vitriol towards the same person. A logical person eventually would say, you know what? There's only so much I can expose somebody. There's only so much tomfoolery someone can get up to that I can talk about. People are showing up, yes, but is it really all that, is it really changing anyone's minds? Is it even lucrative? Is it even really doing anything for my, am I making any money doing this? And probably 6UpMedia would say, you know what? It's not about the money, JTR. It's about my passion. I don't think it's about passion. I think you have a lot of internal anger that needs to be expressed at whatever the original cause is. It's obviously not Ziggy, okay? It's something deeply rooted, and you should probably go to therapy to figure out what that is, for real. For real. Okay, it's not Ziggy. You're taking it out on Ziggy, but it's not Ziggy. So I couldn't believe for nearly 5 years, one target. It truly is honestly a wonder with how YouTube has evolved over the years that your channel hasn't been taken down yet. Seriously. That's befuddling. So I said, wow, okay. I mean, I made a lot of videos about Ziggy, but I thought I was making good points. But again, if you're not If you're still drinking the Kool-Aid, I'm sorry, but if you're still drinking the Kool-Aid, you're drinking the Kool-Aid. And to be completely fair, I have not watched Ziggy for a couple of years, so I don't even know what she's up to. I don't know if she's changed. I don't know if she's doing something completely differently. I clicked around a little bit. I saw she's doing nails now, and she does tarot card readings and stuff. That's cool. I do nails now too. I don't put them on my channel or anything, but like, hey, I learned to do gel nails from YouTube, so hey, that's cool. Okay. But I thought, wow, for 5 years, and it's still the same level of anger. Okay, yeah. You know what? I said, good for you, Ziggy. Good for you, because how much longer is this going to go on? How much longer could this go on? It's got to take a toll at some point. And is it going to escalate? Like, what on earth? So, that's just my brief, how I even, became aware of all this happening. Now, here's the thing, right? So then I find out, and then 6UP goes live. Like, oh, okay, that's cool. What's she got to say? I figure, it's not fair. But the anger also, like, F you, whatever, right? I figured. But it's the same song and dance. I wasn't served. Okay. It's a pattern. It's become a pattern at this point. And you know what? You've said a lot of things about this judge. And of course, you've become a log cow yourself, 6UP. You have become your own log cow in your own right. You can only point at log cows for so long. When you stop making valid points, when it starts becoming a little too emotional, too often, you got to look at yourself. And I think that's the point where you are at this point. I think you're a lol cow. And what are lol cows famous for doing? Going live or uploading, saying something that they probably shouldn't have said, and then going back and removing their upload as if, and they can pretend that it never happened. Just rewrite history. Oh, it never happened. No, it's gone now. It's gone from history. It never happened. Well, I've been covering lol cows for quite a long time now. Not just one. And that is a pattern that all lol cows have. They tend to upload or go live and then delete. So you got to screen record, or you got to just download the whole thing, which I did, of course. So some of you may know that I downloaded 2 of her live streams, the 7500 one, and there was another one also. And she deleted both from her channel, and I uploaded one of them to this channel. She immediately gave me a copyright strike, not just a copyright claim, a strike. So I have a strike on this channel now. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. Ms. First Amendment, that's fine. I'll go over to Rumble and I'll upload them over there. So I did that. I uploaded both of them over there. Well, for Rumble, usually your videos are pretty safe on Rumble because in order to issue a DMCA takedown, you have to actually mail a letter to their office in Toronto, Canada. So I'm like, how likely it is? How likely is it that 6UP's going to do that? Well, apparently she did, because I have 2 copyright strikes on my Rumble channel to get those videos taken down. So I'm like, ooh. You said some naughty things, I guess, that you're not a little too emotional, a little too impulsive, I guess, huh? It's a shame you weren't impulsive on that day of court. You didn't just get a ride to the courthouse and defend yourself and state your case. It's one thing to be a big badass on YouTube, and it's another thing to show up in real life and take care of stuff like a real woman. Which are you? I think we know. I think you showed yourself. So we have an update. I don't know if anyone has seen this yet. I've logged on. I've looked at the case. We do have an update. Okay. I have redacted their last names. I'm sure everybody knows them, but I don't need a privacy claim, whatever. Go ahead. So here's the case number if you want to look it up yourself. Shelby Superior Court, obviously, small claims. And, okay, I took out the addresses. So Ziggy filed the case. And then I just highlighted the really pertinent parts so we can kind of skip the other stuff. So there was a bench trial on May 19th, and at 1:30 p.m., the judge was David Neil Riggins. The result, it was commenced and concluded, like it started and it ended. And here's a journal entry. The bench trial was held. Evidence was heard. Court takes matter under advisement. The judge, not present, Jennifer Lynn, which is 6UpMedia. Present, Adrian, which is Ziggy. Okay. And then on the day after, May 20th, we received a motion to dismiss by Jennifer Lynn, 6UpMedia. Okay. A day late and many dollars short. Yikes. Okay. All right. And then we get the final judgment, which is when Ziggy went live. I think it was the day after. Monetary award. Okay, so 6UP has to pay $7,501 and it's kind of broken out in various ways, but that is what she has to pay in total. So she has to pay it. It's a judicial order. She has to pay it. There's no way around it. Then when 6UP went live and she's like, I'm going to file a motion and everyone is going to be served tonight. So this is when she went live, I think, or the morning after. Everyone's going to be served. The clerk, the judge, and Ziggy. Yeah, motions don't get served. For someone who's like a true crime fan and someone who's a First Amendment auditor and a constitutionalist, you don't seem to know much about how the court system works. You've been through the criminal court system yourself, and you don't seem to know much about how it works. So you filed a motion to set aside and to vacate the judgment, and your reasoning is because you weren't served. And that was filed on June 18th. So the same day, the judge issued a notice. The court sets a hearing on the motion to set aside judgment. Both parties shall appear in person. The hearing is set for July 14th. That's in 4 days from today, from when I'm recording this, at 1:30 p.m. Parties will receive email notices, okay? Oh, he doesn't have my email address. I have to agree to receive emails. No, you don't. Stop. And, sorry, Morgan & Morgan is a personal injury attorney group that has other, it's just, they're basically like they refer you to personal injury attorneys. Just because you see them on TV during daytime television, you must be at home watching Jerry Springer type TV. Yeah, Morgan & Morgan. Yeah, they advertise literally everywhere. My God, this is small claims court. This is a civil matter. What are you doing? Emails and notices will be mailed to the addresses on file. Okay, so check your email. You probably don't want to miss this one. All right. Okay, so the hearing scheduling activity, the hearing on the motion to set aside, that is the motion that you made to vacate judgment. It's scheduled. Okay, it's scheduled. It's on the docket. Okay, cool. So Ziggy, okay, on the 22nd of June, filed a response, which is expected and normal. Plaintiff's response in opposition to defendant's motion to set aside default judgment. So Ziggy's like, no, I don't think so. Look, you were served, you were told when to be there, and you didn't show up. You had no defense for yourself, and all your little buddies writing letters to the court really, it doesn't replace you showing up. So please, I oppose this motion. Okay. So that's smart. Okay. But the judge was like, oh, So it's filed, okay? The judge really hasn't even made a decision on this as of this point, right? But on July 7th, okay, 6UP files a motion to appear remotely or telephonically. Like, look, if there is going to be the hearing, which is now scheduled, can I join by phone or by Zoom? And she probably listed her myriad of reasons why she cannot be in the courtroom. She's hospitalized. She conducts business out of state on a frequent basis. She's she's incapacitated. She's under a doctor's care. She rides a bicycle. She doesn't have a driver's license. I don't even know. I'm sure there'll be another myriad of reasons. So she's like, hey, can I join by Zoom? The same day, the judge is like, no. No, you cannot join by Zoom. The same day, order denying. The court enters an order denying the motion to appear remotely for hearing on motion to set aside judgment. Parties shall appear in person. The order signed July 7th, 3 days ago. You got to show up. I wonder why. I have a couple of theories, but, I don't know. Okay. So, again, we are scheduled for July 14th. Hearing on the motion to set aside vacate judgment, which is your motion, 6UP. That's your motion. 1:30 p.m. Judge Riggins, both parties shall appear in person. Okay. Okay. So, 4 days, 6UpMedia shall be in Shelbyville, Indiana. Okay. Also, I just have one more thing for you, and then I'll let you go. Okay. But it is a little bit longer than what we just did, but I think you're going to be happy with it, okay? I need to play a few things for you and respond to them in kind, okay? Yeah, let's just do it quickly here.
But I will start with the clown, the judge, Judge Higgins.
It's Riggins. Did you say Higgins? Is that how you're going to try to get around this? You see, Judge Riggins, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about a Judge Higgins. It's another judge in another state, another jurisdiction. Okay? Okay?
A gross overreach of power.
Oh.
He violated my 14th Amendment.
Oh.
And, well, he had his chance to do the right thing, and he didn't. So.
Oh. So did you.
Now we'll be moving on.
Mm-hmm.
And I know
mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about court. We're going to talk about this judge.
So, this live stream was like 4.5 hours long or something. So I downloaded a whole transcript. So I just went by timestamp. So they're just going to be clips.
Because I feel like the judge kind of wants to be YouTube famous. What do y'all think?
Yikes.
I wonder, maybe he's a grifter too, guys. You never know.
What?
Just saying,
Why would... Listen, okay? You've accused many people of being under the influence of illicit substances. Okay? For those of you who weren't around back then, she has accused people who were in recovery, okay, as 6UP claimed to be at the time. And she had some really nasty things to say about a person who was in recovery and really had no reason to be calling them out, had no personal connection to this person. And really, if she felt the need to do so as a sober, peer counselor, probably could have done that in a one-on-one type situation. Email him, call him, something, and say, hey, buddy, it sounds like you're struggling. Can I offer some help? But she actually went on a live stream and cussed him out about appearing to be high. So because of that and upset some people in her chat, which then resulted in a domino effect, which then resulted in her having to lie and lie and lie and ruin what she thought to be friendships. So, but I'm wondering the same thing right now, 6UpMedia. I'm wondering the same thing. Why would the judge be a grifter? Do you think judges make pretty decent salaries? Okay, they do. They do. I don't know if you're aware of that. Probably not.
When a small legal superior court judge thinks that they have the overreach of your fucking speech, we have a fucking, especially with you not even being there, being served, or any, you are, motherfucker, you lost your fucking mind too, didn't you?
Okay. I mean, I hope you were under the influence. I hope if Ziggy does take this into court on the 14th and plays it for the judge, maybe that'll be your defense. But I'm sure you can Google to see what his salary is and how you think that this could be a grift for the judge. Do you think that the judge was bribed? Are you accusing him of some sort of impropriety? What exactly are you accusing the judge of? Please.
You've been on YouTube watching shit? Is that what you've been doing? So this was my motion to dismiss. This was submitted the day after the hearing. The day after the...
She says that, like, seriously. This was submitted the day after the hearing. Wow, like, with such confidence. Like, you do realize that's a little too late? That's a little too late. So I just want to call your attention to one thing here. It's in very, very small print, okay? But it's at the bottom here, okay? It's at the very bottom. And it says, ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check important info. I'm not surprised. I have to say I'm not surprised. It sounds like your consultation with a Morgan & Morgan personal injury attorney didn't cover how to write a motion or, actually just like stating case law or anything like that. I don't think that you being, representing yourself pro se, that they would expect all of that. But I would think that reading it over yourself and making sure everything made sense, that might be something you might want to do before filing this as a motion in the middle of the night. That's just, that just speaks also to your impulsiveness. Try to sleep on things before you do that, because, that's really how people can make an ass out of themselves. I mean, I read this over. You seem to think that it contained anti-slap language. It didn't. I don't know where you thought where it says anything about them. I don't know.
Hearing, I called the clerk. I let the clerk know that I was not served with this bullshit, that the litigant, the plaintiff, had several different filings against me, that I had responded to another one, which was a federal copyright infringement one. I did not ever agree to be emailed. I just want to point that out. I don't know if everybody knows exactly how the law works, but
it's so cringe. It's so cringe to hear you talk like this. I don't know if everyone has seen Chasing's video breaking all of this down. She broke it down. And it's pretty clear, okay? Now, listen, if you are here because you're a 6UpMedia fan, I know you're going to be in the comments like, she wasn't served, though, GTO, she wasn't served! Listen, I don't care. I don't care. I'm not the judge. I'm not the judge, and I'm not Ziggy. You guys are like, I don't know what is going, I don't know what. Let me tell you, it just like really made me like, thank God I'm not doing this anymore. Like, wow, you really got to break it down for you guys sometimes. Like, just because we can look at the law and see what's happening and say, oh, actually, according to this, the judge says you were served. That's not up to me. I'm not an Indiana judge. That's not up to me to decide. That's what the judge decided. That is what the judge decided. Okay. That's not my opinion. That's what the judge decided. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden I'm a big Ziggy fan or that I'm on Ziggy's side. And truly, I am so glad to not have to keep explaining things. I do from time to time in the community that I talk in sometimes. Like, I do have to explain that sometimes still, but not like to the extent that I have to in this community. It's like, it's so tiring. Like, it's so black and white thinking. Like, oh, if you think 6UP wasn't served, then you must be on Ziggy's side. 6UP said she wasn't served. If you think she was, then you're a Ziggy fan. Like, listen, dispense with all of that. It's pointless. It's completely pointless. I don't have anything personal against 6UpMedia, Ziggy, Foodie Beauty, any of these, Nita's World, any of these people. I don't think about them when I log off, okay? Please.
You guys will find out because there will be a future filing. Actually, there will be a filing tomorrow. Ziggy will be getting served, and so will the court, and we'll go from there. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is. Obviously, I'm not going to show my hand. But as the motions are filed, I will share every one of them with you guys. So this is the motion that I put in to dismiss. Multiple jurisdictions all over the world, but this little petty judge in Shelbyville, Indiana, thinks that he has a say over it, you guys. He's got me fucked all the way up, by the way. All the way up. All the way fucking up. And people are legit shook. And they should be, because I wonder what happened. Is he maybe of a certain political persuasion that maybe I'm not? Maybe he's just a dumbass. I don't fucking know. But he had his chance. Mm-hmm. He blew it. And now it's on to the next judge. Plaintiff has...
What do you... Listen, I don't know what she's talking about here. I really don't. I don't know. And even if he... okay, maybe he is of a certain political persuasion, I guess. How would he know what her political persuasion is and if it's in line with his or not? How would he know that?
Failed to establish actionable false statements and a fact attributable to the defendant, meaning there was nothing that she showed that was false statements attributed to the defendant. And under applicable law, that's called the First Amendment, motherfucker. It's funny, he said he went and told Ziggy that he went to law school and that he got this degree and he knew the law, right? It kind of sounds like Fred, don't he? I know the law. Well, if you knew the law, how'd you skip over the First Amendment, motherfucker? All the way down. Go to the Fourth Amendment. Fuck that. She don't get one of them either. 14th Amendment.
6UP, just a clue. Listen, I know you're anti-establishment, anti-government, anti. When you are in a court of law, you will want to refer to him as Your Honor. Okay. Probably not motherfucker. That would probably be bad for you. Okay, you could probably be held in contempt of court for that. Just an FYI.
Nope. We're going to see how it goes. We'll see how it goes, guys. I am fucking angry. I'm really fucking angry.
When aren't you angry? I saw other channels that I never even knew existed. I don't know. They've probably been around for a while. I just never knew about them because I don't know. But they popped up and I started watching them a little bit. And I saw other people commenting, like in the comments and in those people's chats, like, I tried to watch 6UpMedia, but she was just so angry, like the bad vibes. Like, she scares off a lot of, that's why I think one of the reasons that her channel just hasn't grown. She's not, a lot of people, when they're on YouTube, I mean, rage can be addictive for some people. It gives them like a dopamine release, I guess. Or, just like that selective outrage. But for a lot of people, they want to join a chat where, like, it's like a community. And when the live stream finishes, you feel better when you leave. You feel like, either you were all able to vent together and it was a communal experience and like, okay, we got it all off our chest. And then maybe we all did a kumbaya at the end, right? Like, it's important then at the end to regroup and not to leave your community like straggling with like those feelings of hatred and anger, because it's not a good way to leave people. And I just don't see that with 6Up's channel. And it seems like a lot of people don't see it that way either. It's just, you're watching a person who has a very personal beef with another creator, which a lot of people think is cringe anyway. And you're watching that go on night after night after night for over 4 years. And when another topic is covered, it's very ho-hum, because this so-called passion that exists for the topic of grifting doesn't seem to extend to other people who are grifting that you're covering, or other topics that you're covering. There is no passion for those things. There's only passion for Ziggy. Give that some thought.
And everybody in especially in the United States should be angry that somebody can walk their fat ass into a small claims court, literally lie about every fucking thing that came out of that bitch's mouth was a goddamn lie. Lie about you without you even being served, and get a $7,500 judgment. Quit your fucking job, everybody.
Yeah, see, this isn't like a greater issue for the world or for the country, 6UP. Like, this is a you thing. You're not going to recruit other people to your cause. Anyone in the United States of America can sue civilly anyone else for literally any reason. That's a fact. Any reason. And if you as a defendant don't show up, then a judgment can be made against you. That's just how it is.
Seriously, quit your job. All you got to do is go lie to a judge. I mean, come the fuck on. All the things, and then I was reading, or they were talking about, where I put in here that I travel regular for work. Yeah, I do. And I also have ongoing health related issues, and was actually in the hospital, admitted in the hospital, actually, the day before this court hearing. I have absolute proof to that, by the way. Also, under a doctor's care the day of the hearing. I was under a steroid treatment, was live actually talking about it.
So which was it? You weren't served? Or you were hospitalized? Like, are you just like trying out different excuses as to why you weren't there? That's a little strange, You should, if you're going to go with like, I wasn't served, then you should stick with that, I think. Like, just throwing reasons against the wall, hoping something sticks, I don't think that's going to be effective. You got to understand, like, judges were attorneys in the past, and they've already heard all the excuses. They've already heard everything. So you coming up with like 6 different reasons for not being there, they've already heard people talk like that. You're not showing them anything new. They can see right through it. So that's pretty cringe. It really is. All right, I gotta hear her say one thing again.
Travel regular for work. Yeah, I do. And I also have ongoing health related issues, and was actually in the hospital, admitted in the hospital, actually, the day before this court hearing. I have absolute proof to that, by the way. Also, under a doctor's care the day of the hearing.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So the hearing was May 19th. Okay. It was May 19th. Okay. Hearing date, May 19th. The bench trial was held. So she's saying that she was hospitalized on May 18th. Right? Is that what you get from that? And that's what I get from that. Okay, right? But here's what I see. 6UpMedia. May 19th was the hearing date. And you said the day before you were inpatient, you were admitted into the hospital. So that would have been May 18th, right? But you were live streaming on May 18th. Let me just make sure I heard that correctly. I could be wrong. Let me just make sure. Let me confirm. I don't want to be wrong about something, let's just see.
About where I put in here that I travel regular for work. Yeah, I do. And I also have ongoing health related issues and was actually in the hospital, admitted in the hospital, actually, the day before this court hearing.
Okay.
I have absolute proof to that, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Also, under a doctor's care, the day of the hearing, I was under a steroid treatment, was live actually talking about it. So, yeah. Anyway, that doesn't matter. None of that matters. I'm just telling you guys, let me finish reading this and I'll tell you how.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't matter if you weren't served, right? So why are you bringing up all these possible stories? So May 18th, the day before the hearing, you said you were admitted to the hospital. Okay. But yet you live streamed. And the title of that live stream, obviously now deleted, would you like to have coffee with me or maybe some tea? Low view, 523 views. You made $16 in super chats. You got 141 thumbs up. And let's see what the status of this video was. This video has been privated. Okay. Just because you delete it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Right, lolcow? Right, lolcow, 6UP. Right. May 18th. Okay. Interesting. But you were admitted in the hospital, huh? Okay. Let's see. You had your highest view count, your highest live viewers was 149. $16 super chats. Okay. Okay. Hey, just something I noticed, I'm going to have to react to the rest of this a little bit later. I've got other things to do and I still have more to go. It's only 36 minutes of clips. I'm not doing 4.5 hours of this nonsense because she's like crying at the end and like, guys, I need money for a lawyer. Like, wow, if we had done this like 3 months ago, you'd be in a far better position now. But whatever. Hey, you know best, right? So, yeah. Hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for checking it out. And are you going to appear? Are you going to show? Hey, you're a member of the public, right? You have a right to show up in court and be an observer. And you can't record though. You can't record, but you can watch. You can write down your observations when you leave the courtroom. Will you go to the courtroom in Shelbyville on the 14th at 1:30 p.m. and check out the proceedings and see if she shows up and talk, tell us what happened? And if it's available via Zoom, will you sign in? You can't record it. You can't screen record it. And you have to sign in with your real government name. Just keep that in mind. So, yeah, let me know down below. And again, 6UP fans, just, please. I have I don't have a lot of hesitancy with my block button. Okay. So just, keep it a little restrained if you can. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.